Hey y'all, and welcome to the Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. I'm Susan, your hostess, and this is Gifts from the Home, hosted by Life in the Piedmont. The collaboration begins with several collaborators, and then it will be opened up. And I'll leave all that information in the description box below because it's so important for y'all to know the dates that you can jump on board with your recipes. Okay, I have misplaced the recipe in my book, but anyway, I'm using this book. It's called The Favorite Recipes of Home Economics Teachers Cookbook. And the recipe is found on page 235. Right there, a peasant bread. And we're going to turn this into a recipe that we can put into a jar just like I did with the other one. So I'm really excited to share this with you. So I've taken all the wet and dry ingredients, wrote them down with some notes down here at the bottom, and then on the other side I wrote out the instructions, and I have made up my little card or my tag to hang on my jar with the instructions on the back and the needed ingredients in front, including how to bake the bread. So important that we have all the information for them. So I'm going to take this recipe, we're going to turn it into a bread in a jar, and we're going to pair it with either marinara sauce or a jam or jelly that you have in your pantry, homemade or store-bought. Doesn't matter, but it's a gift of love. For this recipe, you will need 3 1/2 cups of all-purpose flour. Let me look at my book so I don't forget the ingredients. You can either go ahead and put this on top of the flour, or you can separate it in a little baggie and put it on top of the flour. So it is 4 tablespoons of sugar. I'm using an organic sugar. 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. 1 package of yeast, or 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my flour and I'm going to get it into this jar, this clean mason jar. You can use a wide mouth or a regular mouth, it really doesn't matter. And this is unsifted. You don't have to sift the flour. I love artisan breads and things like that, and I thought this peasant bread would be so good for a change of pace and something you can also keep on your pantry shelf. Really easy to assemble. Get it packed down in that jar because you got more to put in there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my sugar in there. And you can take your finger and just kind of spread that along the top, making sure it's kind of even across there. Then I'm going to put the salt. And again, I'm just kind of shoving it around. And then my last ingredient, of course, is going to be the yeast. And our jar is assembled. Look at that, how fast that went. I've already got my lid ready to go with the label on it. And I pulled out some coffee filters because these really do make the best toppers on these jars. So easy, and it looks so clean when it's done. And so I'm just going to place that over the top. And I'm going to do the same thing I did the last time. I'm going to take a little bit of this gimp, I call it gimp cord, and we're going to tie this down with the label. So I'm just going to tie this in a bow. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So there is our peasant bread in a jar. So you can go to the thrift store and pick up bread pans that are in really good shape, or you can go buy one new. It's up to you. And we're going to fill this up. We're going to take a little Christmas spatula and put in there, and some sort of a pot holder. It doesn't really matter. Let's see how I have this. So that's just to kind of pad your pan. And I'm going to pull that one over the back. And we're going to go ahead and sit our jar in there just like that. Now I could do the same thing with the marinara sauce. I'm going to cover it. And I've also pulled out a unique jelly. It's called rose petal jelly. It's made by the Amish. So we can switch out whichever one we want to add with our bread. So let me get those done and I'll be right back. So you really don't have to stick this in there with that bread, but you can. And you could tape it to the back of one of the jars and put this in a plastic bag and put a pretty bow on top with a tag, and you've got a beautiful little gift for someone. It could be a hostess gift, a gift for a new bride, or many other ideas for a gift, maybe a housewarming or a Christmas gift. So I labeled my marinara sauce on the top with just a little plain white label, and of course the bread mix has that on there. Now I'm going to take this out and I'm going to add in the jelly with my spatula. And again, you would tape it to the back of one of the jars in the back to hold it in place. And you've got a beautiful little gift with jelly. Now you could add in some homemade butter. You could do a butter roll up with either one of these and just stick it in there at the last minute, then bag it up, take it to whoever's getting the gift, because you don't want to leave it out for too long. But it's a good idea. So those are my two gifts. I hope that you have enjoyed this. I thought that would be a great gift to give to somebody. Homemade peasant bread in a jar. Wonderful gift ideas. One of the butters, if you did it with a marinara sauce, you might want to make a garlic butter. Maybe you've got a really good recipe for it. Freeze it, roll it in some wax paper, and then cover it in fabric and stick it in there, and it'll keep a little longer. And for the jelly, let me pull this down. Again, you would roll your butter into a log in wax paper and then wrap it in some scrap fabric that you have. Tie it off with a little bit of gimp, and you got a perfect little gift for whoever is receiving. I think they're great gifts. I hope that you will try these out, and especially that homemade bread. Can you just imagine the smell coming out of their kitchen, and they're going to feel the love that you put into that jar for them to make bread baking so easy. Thank you, Tina, with Life in the Piedmont, for hosting Gifts from the Home. And then the collaboration becomes an open collaboration. So I hope, my hair's sticking out. I hope that you enjoyed this. And let me know in comments, what do you think about this idea for gifts from the home, using one recipe for two different types of gifts. Here's some content I think you might like. Thank you for visiting our homestead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, hype, and share to help our small channel grow. See you next time for more simple living, frugal tips, and farmyard fun.